Hey everybody, Nacha continues to stay on top of things. It's the first bulletin for the month, but the third within a week. As issues are arising, or as they're becoming aware of potential issues, Nacha is doing what they can to help ensure that the ACH network is adapting to changes, much in the same way all of us are having to adapt as well. This time, they've released a bulletin that will help with the potential of rules violations that are due to possible elevated return rates. Now, what's that mean? Well, stay tuned and learn more. It's ACH Operations Bulletin number 6, 2020. Nacha provides relief regarding potential rules violations for elevated return levels. It was released April 2nd, 2020. In this bulletin, Nacha is letting the industry know they are aware that there may be an increase in the number of returns, especially for those debits, as people may not have the funds available to cover those debits right now. What we see in this bulletin is this. Nacha says, businesses that originate pre-authorized ACH debits for services that have been interrupted may face an elevated risk of returns. Well, think about it. People don't want to pay for what they don't have access to or can't use, right? This could be due to consumers who, 1, lack funds. That's going to be something like an NSF. 2, place stop payment orders with their own bank or credit union. Or 3, make claims that debits are unauthorized because they can no longer access the service or have otherwise canceled the service. I have to say that recurring debits have had issues where they accidentally go out after cancellations for years. It's not really something that new. Right now though, it's elevated. Let's just say that. It happens when someone, forgets to remove the canceled user from a system that is set up to automatically create the ACH debit entry. Sometimes it's the business that forgets, sometimes it's the consumer. I'm not trying to pick on them, but I really have seen this happen a lot, it seems like, with gyms. But in our current environment, we're also aware that it could be just a simple oversight of not having canceled the user or not having the canceled user removed, or it could be that the organization is overwhelmed with having to deal with other issues. Maybe they're understaffed, or they're facing other challenges, or even working remotely or unable to access the service to even make the changes. Then add to it that people may just not have the funds available, and because they are so focused on other much more important things in some cases, that they're not going in and they're not actually canceling the things through the proper procedures or the way that they're supposed to. Plus, if it is a gym and that gym's closed, then how is the user to go through the proper procedures to have it canceled? Let's just say there are many reasons why things could or are a little crazy right now in the world of electronic payments. And Nacha is also aware that things, they are a little crazy. So also what we find in the bulletin is it says, Nacha encourages that all such businesses, to the extent possible, communicate clearly with their customers about how they will handle pre-authorized ACH debits during periods of service interruption in light of their own particular set of facts and circumstances. In normal circumstances, every business is a little different. But in these circumstances, every business is a little different and potentially impacted differently as well. We are all adapting as we go to the circumstances, and the key here is to have communication. Keeping everyone informed and aware really helps. You know those gyms I was picking on and mentioning earlier? Well, I want to say this. The one that I'm a member of, it's currently closed. But they did send me an email and even an alert through their app to let me know that they're closed. They also let me know they won't be charging my account until services become available again. And if there's an issue, they told me what I can do. You see, within that notification, they provided additional information as far as my options on how I could handle it, on either doing nothing or, if needed, temporarily suspending my account, or even if I had to, canceling my membership. But they also included the steps on how to do it and contact information should I have any questions. This type of communication is what Nacha's talking about, or at least I believe they are, because this type of communication helps prevent rules violations, and we don't want to have rules violations in the best of times. So the bulletin, well, it does go on to address, dealing with rules violations. What's it say? It says, with respect to potential rules violations for elevated return rates and levels during this period of unusual activity, Nacha will provide relief for potential rules violations on a case-by-case basis. Nacha has really been great for years at monitoring the network and enforcing the rules, and they are going to continue to do so. They are saying that they will still look case by case at potential rules violations, and that case by case, they will make a determination if there is indeed a rules violation or if it is something beyond the control of the business and maybe, let's say, acceptable and not necessarily a rules violation. There's an exact process that Nacha goes to. There's committees and organizations, let's say, that are involved, and groups and within the industry that are all involved in this process. They are going to look at multiple factors to determine, did a rules violation take place? What do they actually go and look at? Some of the things are going to be things like whether the debits were in fact properly authorized using good standard authorization practices, whether the authorizations remain in effect in light of any intervening circumstances, whether or not the originator clearly communicated with its receivers with respect to ongoing debits, and whether the originator had a prior history of elevated returns. Again, these are all areas that Nacha has historically looked at when determining if a rules violation has actually taken place. So it's really good to see they are continuing to do this. Plus, even in the best of times, there are circumstances when return rates go up, and as long as it is for acceptable reasons, then no rules violation is filed. I would, however, caution financial institutions and businesses out there that this is not a get out of jail free processing card. No, this is more like a notification to help ease your concerns that Nacha is aware of potential issues and will make the appropriate decisions based on the situation. At least that's my opinion of what's being said in this bulletin. No matter what, you should still make every effort to process correctly and, as always, within the rules. If for some reason you're in a situation where you do need more assistance or guidance, or you have questions, then what I would do is I'd encourage you to contact one of the payment associations. There are several payment associations throughout the country. You would probably be best, or I would say it would be best, to go with one that's in your territory or your location. So for example, if you're up north, you're in the Minnesota, Dakotas, Montana area, then UMACHA is going to be your best bet. Go to umacha.org and they'll be able to help you. If you happen to be in Wisconsin, then there's no doubt WACHA, and you can get more information at wacha.org. They will be able to assist you and give you guidance. If you're in the Midwest, then epcor.org. They're there to help. If you're in the New England area, then definitely get with NEACH. NEACH.org has all kinds of resources, and from these websites, you can get their phone numbers as well. If you happen to be in Mississippi or Louisiana, SFE at sfe.org. If you're in the South, and let's go with South being Texas, Florida, Virginia, North Carolina, then get with ePay Resources at epayresources.org. Other areas in the South, like maybe Tennessee, Alabama, or Georgia, you're going to want to contact Payments First at paymentsfirst.org. The payment associations have always been and still are there to be able to help businesses and financial institutions in processing. And so is the Payments Professor. So if there's an issue that you are facing and you're looking for assistance, please message or email me, Kevin at paymentsprofessor.com. We are here to serve you.